What if hundreds of thousands of Catholics were suddenly told they might be excommunicated? That was the shock felt by many Catholics after Vatican documents were released on July 2nd, 2026. The documents followed the SSPX consecration of 4 new bishops without papal approval. A decree issued by Cardinal Victor Manuel Fernandez, together with an explanatory note and reconciliation procedures, led many people to wonder whether not only bishops, but also SSPX priests and lay faithful had been excommunicated. According to Father Scott Gardner of the SSPX, the situation is far more complicated than many headlines suggested. He argues that the first thing to understand is the purpose of canon law itself. Canon law exists to help guide the Church, but no legal system can perfectly cover every possible situation. To explain this, he uses simple examples. If someone finds his elderly mother being attacked, he does not first stop to study legal details. He acts to protect her. Or imagine a king who forbids driving on the wrong side of the road. If an ambulance must briefly break that rule to save the king's life, the higher duty of saving life comes first. Father Gardner says canon law recognizes similar principles. One of them is that the salvation of souls is the highest law of the Church. He also explains that excommunication is meant to be a medicinal penalty. Its purpose is not simply punishment. Its purpose is to encourage repentance and restore order within the Church. Canon law also requires that penalties be interpreted strictly. The rules cannot simply be stretched beyond what they clearly say. Father Gardner notes that the July 2nd decree formally declared penalties for the 6 bishops involved. However, when speaking about priests and lay faithful, the decree uses language saying they would incur excommunication if they adhered to an alleged schism. In his view, that wording is a warning about what could happen, not a declaration that it has already happened. He also points to what he sees as tensions between the decree and the explanatory note issued alongside it. Another issue concerns confessions and marriages. The explanatory note suggested that previous permissions granted by Pope Francis were no longer valid. Father Gardner argues that such permissions cannot simply be removed by implication without proper authority and procedure. He also emphasizes that canon law provides opportunities for appeals and recourse. In fact, the SSPX filed a canonical recourse on July 13, 2026. According to his analysis, the existence of that process is important because canon law allows penalties and related questions to be reviewed. Father Gardner ultimately argues that necessity, grave inconvenience, and the absence of a true rejection of papal authority are factors that deserve serious consideration. For that reason, he concludes that SSPX priests and lay faithful should not assume they are automatically excommunicated. Whether one agrees with his conclusions or not, his article highlights an important point. Behind the headlines lies a complex debate involving canon law, church authority, appeals, and the interpretation of legal texts. And that debate is far from over.